this session, we're going to explain the marine ecosystems. So it's chapter 15, section 4, Marine's ecosystem. So before we start, let's make a quick scan of the chapter. So what we are going to learn today, the ocean zones, because scientists divided the ocean into 4 zones: the intertidal zone, the Neretic zone, the bathyal zone, abyssal zone. And we're going to explain the life in the Neretic zone, what we are going to find in the Neretic zone. We're going to explain what are the coral reefs and why they are important, and what are kelp forests. So, in the start, if you notice when you swim, the depth of the water changes the deeper into the ocean you go. And this is why the scientists divided the zones. For example, the intertidal zone is
intertidal zone, strip of land between the high and low tide lines.
So this is the intertidal zone. This is the strip of land between the high and low tides. Means the shore, okay? The beach, not the beach, the small area in the water on the beach. The Neretic zone is
Neretic zone, zone of the ocean that extends from the intertidal zone out to the edge of the continental shelf.
So this is the Neretic zone. From here to here, the intercontinental cliff, this cliff. The deepest point you can swim, okay? Actually, you can swim in all depths, but this is the deepest point in normally the normal people can go and swim to. Deeper than this, you are very far away from the beach, okay? Okay, so Neretic zone, the continental, the zone of the ocean that extends from the intertidal zone out to the edge of continental shelf. Good. Next one.
Bathyal zone, zone of the ocean that extends from the edge of the Neretic zone to the...
Let me show you first. So, this is the bathyal zone.
Bathyal zone, zone of the ocean that extends from the edge of the Neretic zone to the base of the continental shelf.
So, it's from here to here. So the whole, like the edge from the Neretic zone to the base of the continental shelf. All this is bathyal zone. And we will see the characteristics of each zone, of course. The abyssal zone.
Abyssal zone, depth of the ocean that lies below 2,000 meters and is in complete darkness.
Complete darkness. We'll explain about this, and we will explain this later. Now, life in the Neretic zone. In the Neretic zone, we will find plankton, zooplankton, phytoplankton. What are plankton?
Plankton, microscopic free-floating organisms which may be animals or protists that live in the water.
So planktons, are tiny free-floating organisms that live in the water. These organisms include both animal and protists. Zooplankton,
Zooplankton, animal plankton.
animal plankton is another term for animal plankton. Phytoplankton,
Phytoplankton, photosynthetic microscopic protists such as algae.
so algae, it's a type of phytoplankton. Zooplankton is from animals. So what are these exactly? So, because they are tiny floating organisms that are essential for the balance of the ecosystem or the marine ecosystem. Why? Because these organisms carry out the bulk of photosynthesis on Earth and therefore provide most of the oxygen you are breathing now. According to many estimates, 70% or more of the oxygen in every breath you take can be traced back to marine phytoplankton. This is how important these microscopic organisms are. Now, the coral reefs. What are the coral reefs?
Coral reef, a limestone ridge found in tropical climates and composed of coral fragments that are deposited around organic remains.
So, your homework for next lesson is give me any examples where can we find coral reefs. Not too many coral reefs are on planet anymore, guys. So, give me areas where you find live, lush coral reefs. So coral reefs are found within tropical climate zone. So it must be tropical. It means temperate to hot to warm all year. Okay? So single coral reef may be home to 50 to 400 species of corals. Okay? Along hundreds of species of fishes, sponges, sea urchins. Guys, SpongeBob, actually, the cartoon comes from that these creatures are living in coral reefs. Okay? So, corals are animals that have mutualistic relationship, if you remember mutualism, with algae. The coral provides a home for the algae, and algae provides nutrients for the coral, so it's a win-win situation. As the byproduct of photosynthesis, coral reefs are made mostly of coral skeletal material, which packs together over thousands of years into solid structures. Now, ecologists are trying to reintroduce these diverse communities in some areas by making artificial reefs, as this figure. These are artificial reefs, and it's very healthy for the marine ecosystem, by the way, where organisms can find shelter. In addition, some shipwrecks and sunken oil rigs have become artificial reefs. This is how nature recuperates, because when something devastated as an oil ship sunk into the ocean and harmed many species because of the oil spill, then after a period of time the nature will recuperate by making this debris, turning these debris into reefs. Now, coral reefs like kelp forests. What are kelp forests?
Kelp forest, ocean habitat that exists in cold, nutrient-rich, shallow coastal waters composed of large communities of kelp, a seaweed.
Kelp is a seaweed, exists in cold, nutrient-rich waters such those found in California, Monterey Bay. These forests are composed of large communities of kelp. It's a seaweed. Kelp grows from the ocean floor up to the water surface, as I will show you later, and it's a home for 100 of species of fishes, mammals, sea lions. Okay, so let's scan this again together. So, marine ecosystem is a global ecosystem. That's correct. The ocean can be divided into zones. The first zone, of course, the zones determined by their distance from the shoreline and water depth. the intertidal zone between low and high tide, the Noretic zone from intertidal zone to continental shelf, bathyal zone from Noretic zone to base of continental shelf, abyssal zone lies below 2000 meters, intertidal, Noretic, the bathyal zone, abyssal zone. Now, the Noretic zone, most of the marine life you'll find in the Noretic zone here. The bathyal, abyssal, very, very few organisms. So the Noretic zone harbors more biomes than any other zone. Plankton make up most of the biomass, like zooplankton, phytoplankton, and we emphasized how important are these, especially the phytoplankton. It's responsible for about 70% of every breath you take. Now, coral reefs are found in warm waters. I need you to give me an examples where we can find coral reefs. Tropical climate zone, great amount of biomass, a huge biomass, a lot of species you'll find in coral reefs. Now, kelp forests are found in cold, nutrient-rich waters. Large communities of seaweed, a great amount of biomass. This is a true picture of the kelp forests. These are kelps, a seaweed from the ocean floor to the ocean surface. And here you will find a very diverse biomass. That's it for today, class. Thank you very much. Goodbye.